Hello and welcome to the first of what will hopefully be many episodes of Kamen Rider Recap, the only show where TV will talk to you about a TV show, namely Kamen Rider. So I really wanted to start reviewing Gaim when it first came out, but for one reason or another, I had to start a bit late. So I'm going to give my take on the series as a whole right now. That way when the next one comes out I can hit the ground running and go from there. So, Kamen Rider Gaim. I gotta say, when I first heard that the theme of the next rider after Wizard was going to be Sengoku breakdancing fruit warriors, I was a little skeptical. But I watched a few episodes of Gaim and I quickly changed my mind, because Gaim does a few things right. One of the things Gaim does right are references to other writers. I can't tell you how pumped I get every time there's a writer crossover movie, and every time a writer series sneaks in those tiny little tidbits just for those longtime writer fans. I guess you could say Gaim knows how to do this in spades. Get it? 'Cause Blade and spades. He's a spades writer. Gaim is absolutely packed with references since the very first episode. How many of you caught the reference to Kuga when Kota is helping out that little kid? Or maybe how Yggdrasil resembles another familiar, nearly omniscient company. Or maybe you've seen a large cast of writers somewhere else before. The crew writing Gaim really knows how to fit these and other references in without hitting their audience over the head with them. It's really admirable that they do that, and it makes it that much more enjoyable for longtime fans without making it inaccessible to newer viewers. Another thing in Gaim's favor is where the story starts. Think back to Wizard for a moment. Holy shit, Howard is a fucking badass right off the bat. Throwing bullets, making magic, transforming like it's nothing. But doesn't something feel a bit off? Throughout Wizard, we never really got to see Haruto struggle with his new abilities, come to terms with them. He just waltzes off, ready to go kick Phantom ass, which is very different than a lot of the Heisei writers we've seen so far. It's super awesome to see a new writer have to struggle and guess and get used to their new power. Not that seeing a writer know what they're doing from the get-go is a bad thing, but I think it was the right way to handle Kota, given the kind of season this is. It's a story about unknown destinies, power, and the responsibilities of both. And while we're here, let's talk about Kota for a second. Kota Kazurabi is a complete underdog. He's not the smartest, he's not the strongest, and at first, he's not even the most determined character in the show. But it's like watching a kid go through puberty. Not in a weird way. He grows into his determination, his strength, and his compassion. Once the weight of the conflict he stumbled into falls upon him, he's ready to do what's needed in order to protect others. And that's really fucking awesome. Kota, very honestly, is probably what a lot of us would be like if we became a writer. It's so enjoyable to see him come out on top, not because he's super strong, or a genius, or manipulative, but because he tries so hard. But that's not to say I'm 100% in love with this show. In fact, I foresee some serious problems. For one, the head writer of the show is Gen Urobuchi. I'm sure many of you know his reputation by now as the Uro Butcher who recently brought us the tragic Madoka Magica series. Knowing he's at the helm of this does not bode well. Also, the fact that his inspirations for Gaim are Faiz and Ryuki, arguably two of the sadder, bleaker, and darker writer series, definitely isn't a good sign. When you take all that into account, it feels like there's going to be some sort of huge, bittersweet end at the end of Gaim. And knowing that almost cheapens any sort of victories that Kota, Mai, Michi, and their friends might achieve. Now that's not to say that's definitely how Gaim is going to end. How would I know that? But still, it hangs over my head like dark clouds looming on the horizon. I guess I'll just have to hold out hope that Gaim won't have a downer ending. So hopefully you guys know where I'm coming from when we jump into the next episode of Gaim. I like the show, I really do. It's just got this weird air of foreboding over it as to how it's all going to turn out. If you've got any questions or want to talk more Writer Shop, leave a comment down below, or drop me an Ask at my Tumblr page. Keep an eye out next week for the next episode, and I'll see you then.